So recently as a class, we've read an article based on the topic of social justice and cybersecurity. So Genesis, can you summarize the article for us?
Okay, there's actually two articles. The first one was about different apps that citizens are using to keep themselves updated on what's going on around them, and to also kind of report things that they see. There's one app that talked about they saw police treatment, so they could take a video and upload it to his website for someone to view it and see if it is appropriate conduct by a police officer.
I just wanted to add on to what she said about the app, which I found really interesting simply because everyone now uses the smartphones, and you even see little kids using a smartphone now. And with the popularity of smartphones, they have created an app that allows any digital user to upload any injustice that they see. If they see police brutality, they would just record it, and the app automatically uploads it to the site where everyone could see it. So I feel like that's really interesting because since it's more popular, people could feel safer that way since it's something that they use and it's not something that is hard to access, especially if it's technology related.
I wanted to add on, since one of our standards is to analyze the positive and negative impact of technology, it's important to consider that also recording police officers could also have a negative aspect on the police officers, because people could be targeting certain police officers that they personally have a negative connection with, and that would result in them just consistently attacking them, and could possibly lead to the police officer getting fired for no reason, just because that person has hatred towards them.
So I'm actually a little bit confused on that comment. So why is that a negative aspect of recording? Wouldn't recording fix the issue if they do have a personal vendetta against the officer?
The thing about recording is that you just capture the exact moment in which you start the recording and you end the recording. There's things that happen before and after that, and sometimes people can manipulate the footage into making it seem like the officer's doing something negative when in fact they're not. And that's always something that happens with technology, that it's easy to manipulate how you want it to be. So in that regard, it could actually end up being more negative than positive.
Going off of that, in the article it says that law enforcement is concerned that citizens might know too much or learn too much about what's happening. With that, how would the audience, if a citizen like you were to be in that situation, would you want to have not that power of having all that information, or would you be oblivious to it, Jimmy?
I'm sorry, I'm not really loud. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so in the article it says that law enforcement is concerned of citizens might knowing more information through the app, that's either side. Would that be a negative if you were a citizen and that app, or would you not download the app?
I think I would definitely try the app out just to see if I find it to be really useful, just to have a tool to have in case I do see something going wrong that involves the police. But in all honesty, I feel that if you are the type of individual that really doesn't have any interest in, say, actions involving the police or anything of the sort, then I don't think that it would take a person's interest similar to how I would react to it. Because in my case, I probably wouldn't download it for the sake of, oh, I need to capture this moment. For me, it's just, I'll try it out just for the sake of trying it out.
So I actually am interested in this conversation of the integrity of technology, the use of technology in that way, because as Caesar brought up, then the video that's taken can be easily manipulated, and as Cindy brought up, the videos that are shown might not be to the best interest of, let's say, the government or the public in general. So, Diana, can you tell us any ways that you think that can be regulated or monitored?
I don't necessarily think that it's something that could be regulated simply because everyone uses technology to their own discretion, which relates back to the discussion that we were having before about how we use technology in classrooms. It's up to the student whether they want to follow the rules or not. So in this case with the app where you record something and it automatically gets recorded, it's just a matter of the individual, the digital user, determining whether or not whatever it is that they're recording really does matter, whether it'll actually make a positive change in society, or it's just something they want to record, like Caesar said, to go against someone they already have hatred towards.
And also, and like in the second article, it says that police are downloading the police scanner apps, and which helps monitor the control and activity of certain apps that allow you to see, like Caesar said, like post and record videos of crime. So that's the police's way of regulating and limiting people.
I thought that it said that the students were able to download the apps, that it was kind of really like an area.
No, because the police, okay, certain cities, police would downloading the app in order to regulate what those news apps are able to show, or like those, what's it, a video app was able to show, so that people wouldn't have the fear of the lack of safety.
I want to ask you guys a question. It's because there's this part where it said that people could report a crime, like if they see something happening. But I think, what do you guys think about like with these apps? Is there like a possibility that people might think, oh, I can report it and like maybe like take note of it and say something later, or like is it up calling the police and being their first reaction? You get it? So like, do you think there's like the threat of like a person's reaction instead of being, let me call the police because something's wrong is happening, like, or should I report it first, or like wait later to report it?
I mean, in general, I think human nature is really interested in drama. I mean, there's a site, World Star, which is just basically a bunch of fighting videos and cop videos and like just random videos of people getting attacked. And I think it just goes to show that people are interested in drama. But in the end, it's like we said before, it's up to the discretion of the individual. I know that there's like court cases or like laws like Schneck versus the United States, where basically if something is done in order for intended malice for somebody, that could end up being taken to court and the person could get in trouble for trying to harm somebody. But at the same time, in the end, what is like it's just a huge ethical question of whether we should or we shouldn't implement this.
Right. I agree with the topic of ethics in this, especially because it is dealing with social justice. There's always the question of so previously we had said that the public might know too much and that they might fear for their safety, but the question is how much is too much and how much should the public be allowed to know? So yeah. So Jonathan, do you have anything to say on the question of ethics?
The question of ethics, I just feel like there has to be a way where everyone should be responsible of knowing what they're going to post onto the social justice apps, because as my peers were saying, it's like there could be an issue where people are going to go out of control and they're not going to be able to, or the police, for example, are not able to identify the real issues. One of the issues I thought on top of it is DDoS, when distributed denial of service, when people keep reporting random issues. And because of this, I feel like the app should just have some basic like 101 tips or like a guide for people to use it before they start using the actual app, to have an idea of what to post and what not to post on the app.
But then again, do people really follow those regulations? I'm gonna just use an example like Snapchat and Facebook or any social media app. Whenever you make an account, it always gives you a list of guidelines in terms that you're supposed to agree on or abide by just by clicking on the box. But I'm pretty sure that none of us actually take the time to read every word for word and read all the regulations.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember our discussion on, I think it was the reCAPTCHA method of like cybersecurity. You mentioned yourself that like most of us don't even read the terms and conditions of like anything. And I think that's really important to just know, because most people don't even know the rules of social media. They just know, okay, it's a social media, let me use it, it seems fun. And in the end, they'll just post whatever they find funny or whatever they personally want to post. It doesn't matter if that's the intended purpose. Because with any technology, we just have to consider that people will always find their own way of using it.
But I was saying, not like obviously there's a term for service, like obviously you're not going to get everyone to use the app correctly. There's always, especially with reporting issues, there's always going to get malice. But I was saying more in the lines of just informing people, taking that step. Well, it's not going to get everyone, at least like the majority of people, or at least a big portion will know the actual purpose of the app. If you get the purpose of the app already there, then the likelihood of people not having confusion, or as Caesar was saying, using it inappropriately will be less in comparison of not having a guide at all.
So Jimmy, for instances, can you give any examples that you faced, like with like the Jimmy's card, or examples you've seen in school?
One example of what Jonathan was saying, where it would be better to actually drive home the purpose of the app to begin with, to lower the amount of incidents that happen, I would say, is with the Genius Card itself, where there would be an issue. Initially, before we actually launched the Genius Card, there would be issues with logging into Zscaler. And with that, it's where it was something that we could have, it's the information that we could have given them prior to them actually, the students actually receiving the iPads, and then it could have almost completely mitigated the issue there. So then that's one issue that we had to tackle with the Genius Card.
So, as we've said, that there are different downsides, benefits, and drawbacks to the issue of social justice. So, as Caesar brought up, there are ways for the technology being used to be manipulated in favor of a certain party. And as we ended up saying, there are different ways to control the outflow of that information. As Jonathan said, we can introduce a guide to make sure that the majority of users know how to use it. And as Jimmy said, to do that before they actually have access to the